Welcome to your learning journey of Islamic inheritance law. In this video, you will learn about the conditions and blocking rules of Sunni Islamic inheritance law. This YouTube video contains audio narrations with 4K resolutions. Please turn on your volume and adjust resolutions for a better experience. You can turn on CC to play the captions in different languages by clicking on the settings and select the language of your choice. This is the second video of the 4-video series, and do not miss out on the other 3 videos, as those are equally important. Watching all 4 videos will help you connect all the dots for Sunni Islamic inheritance law. This video includes content that is based on the authentic Sunni Islamic jurisprudence books. A prominent mufti has reviewed this work in the light of the Holy Quran and Sunnah before publishing this video. Before we start, please make a note of 7 important points in this video. First, we will focus our discussion on the traditional Sunni Islamic inheritance law, but will not cover any reforms. Second, we will explain the principle of shares, conditions, and blocking rules for 2 generations. However, you could be able to apply that principle for any generation level. Third, we will cover most conditions and blocking rules, but may not repeat them in the same video. Fourth, we will cover the most crucial differences of opinion. Fifth, we will cover some special cases, but not all because they do not occur frequently. Sixth, we will briefly cover the details for consanguine male relatives and distant kindred in this video. And seventh, we assure you that we will go through the most critical and frequently occurring shares, conditions, blocking rules, and Islamic jurisprudence differences of opinions. Also, you will not miss any significant portion in learning the Islamic inheritance law. We will explain the principles and methods for reaching your learning objectives. There are many nomenclatures when it comes to the inheritor's name. Please make a note on using different nomenclatures for terms such as maternal, full, and paternal. The most basic question everyone may have is, who are the eligible inheritors as per Islamic inheritance law? Assuming that the husband is left with the wife alive as an example. Then, the husband's close relatives will inherit under certain conditions and blocking rules may apply. Eligible inheritors, in this case, can be classified into 4 major groups as follows: spouse, descendants, ascendants, and collateral. This example will give a pretty different outcome if the wife dies, leaving the husband alive. In that case, the wife's close relatives would inherit instead of the husband's close relatives. Please note 5 important points. First, there are 6 primary inheritors, including the husband, wife, son, daughter, father, and mother. These are the inheritors never excluded from succession by any other relatives of the deceased. Second, there are 4 substitute inheritors who take the place of the primary inheritors in their absence. They are the sons of sons how low soever, daughters of sons how low soever, the father of father how high soever, mother of mother, and mother of father how high soever. Mother of father's share is subject to differences of opinions in the Sunni Islamic jurisprudence. These substitute inheritors are derived from the ijma and qiyas. Third, there are secondary groups of inheritors, including the full, paternal, and maternal siblings of the deceased and consanguine male relatives. This group of inheritors is subject to certain conditions, blocking rules, and differences of opinions of Sunni Islamic jurisprudence. Fourth, the descendants of the husband referred here may belong to the surviving spouse or from another marriage of the deceased spouse. Fifth, a distant kindred can inherit in all groups and classes when fixed and residuary sharers are not alive. One exception to this rule is that the distant kindred do inherit in the presence of husband or wife under certain conditions. You can see further breakdowns in more clarity. We have used the X mark in the representation for a reason. The X mark is under maternal siblings, daughters, daughters of sons, and so on. For example, the X mark on the maternal siblings represents that only maternal siblings are eligible, but not their descendants, and similar is the case for daughters' descendants, those who will not inherit. This representation gives essential information, as those who do not inherit under fixed and residuary sharer will inherit as distant kindred relatives with certain conditions. For example, the daughters and their descendants and the false grandmothers, such as father of mother of mother how high soever, will inherit as distant kindred relatives of deceased. You must have a reasonable understanding of this overview of Sunni Islamic inheritance illustrations before proceeding to the next. We will repeat some of the topics learned in the previous video to recap and refresh our understanding. Let us start here. Sunni Islamic inheritance shares derive from four things: sources, causes, conditions, and blocking rules. The Holy Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and Qiyas are the four sources of Islamic inheritance law. The Holy Quran includes 35 verses referring to the subject of inheritance. The inheritors defined in the Holy Quran are husband, wife, daughter, son, father, mother, full siblings, and maternal siblings. Ijma is the consensus of companions of Prophet, and the Qiyas is an exercise of private judgment using reasoning and the analogical deduction in the light of the Holy Quran and Sunnah. Holy Quran and Sunnah are the main sources of Islamic law. Ijma is the consensus of companions that took place when there was no direct reference found in either the Holy Quran or Sunnah. Qiyas, the analogical deductions, were used as the last source of Islamic law where Ijma was not possible. As it stands, Islamic inheritance law is firmly established through all four sources. Ijma and Qiyas were used to interpret the share of grandfather how high soever, grandmother how high soever, grandson how low soever, granddaughter how low soever, the share for paternal siblings, consanguine male relatives, and distant kindred relatives. Inheritors are eligible to receive their share by the reason of three causes called marital tie, blood relations and association or friendship bond, called wala in Arabic. Islamic inheritance shares will be either reduced or increased based on the conditions such as single, multiple, status of alive or dead of one or more inheritors, and lesser in a degree. There are 7 basic exclusion rules. First, the nearer in degree to the deceased excludes the more remote. Second, a person related to the deceased through any person shall not inherit while that person is alive. Third, there is no representation. It means the eligible inheritor must be alive to take his or her inheritance, but cannot represent any other person for his or her inheritance. Fourth, lineal male descendants exclude all agnate ascendants or collaterals. Fifth, ascendants are preferred to collaterals. Sixth, full excludes paternal. It means the strength of consanguinity determines preferences. Seventh, if the degree of relationship is equal, then a male sharer takes double the portion of a female sharer of the same degree as a general rule. Eighth, additional conditions may be applicable that may impact directly or indirectly the shares of one or more inheritors individually or to a group. You should keep in mind that all conditions and blocking rules apply simultaneously and dynamically to respective shares. You cannot use one or more conditions or rules and leave others. The dynamic application of Islamic inheritance law demands extraordinary dedication for learners. Before we learn about conditions and blocking rules, please note that we will be using share and sharer word along with fixed and residuary for illustration. However, the share and sharer word is typically used for fixed or prescribed share or sharer, but not for residuary. Let us quickly recap Islamic inheritance shares. We will identify those fixed or prescribed sharers. Sharers, in other words, are inheritors. We will use fixed sharer for illustration. The 12 fixed shares include husband or wife, daughters or daughters of sons, father or grandfather, mother or grandmothers, full sisters, paternal sisters, maternal brothers, and maternal sisters. Please make a note that we use specific words, father of father instead of grandfather. Similarly, mother of mother and mother of father for grandmother. Similarly, sons of sons and daughters of sons for grandchildren. There is a good reason for using specific words for Sunni Islamic inheritance law, because specific inheritors are eligible. The grandfather, grandmother, and grandchildren are general words that have more than one meaning. For example, you refer to grandmother as it may refer to either mother of mother or mother of father. The residuary share is a residue for inheritance to be distributed to eligible inheritors after the fixed sharers receive their portion of the inheritance. Residuary sharers are sons or sons of sons how low soever, daughters or daughters of sons how low soever, father or father of father how high soever, full siblings, paternal siblings, consanguine male relatives, and distant kindred relatives. The joint residuary can be possible with only the pairs of males and females. In the joint residuary, males get double the share of females. We will explain in more details shortly. The independent residuary sharers are sons, sons of sons how low soever, father or father of father how high soever, full brothers, full sisters, paternal brothers, paternal sisters, consanguine male relatives, or the distant kindred relatives. All independent residuary cannot inherit simultaneously, and certain conditions and blocking rules apply that we will learn shortly. The consanguine male relatives of deceased and distant kindred relatives are independent residuary sharers. The consanguine male relatives include full brothers' sons, paternal brothers' sons, full brothers' sons' sons, paternal brothers' sons' sons, and so on until generations end. Then the father's full brothers, father's paternal brothers, father's full brothers' sons, father's paternal brothers' sons, father's full brothers' sons' sons, father's paternal brothers' sons' sons, and so on until generations end. The distant kindred are neither prescribed sharer nor residuary and receive shares only when prescribed sharer and residuary do not survive, with an exception. Distant kindred do inherit in the presence of husband or wife in certain conditions. Now you can see all sharers with the legend. For example, H for husband, W for wife, D for daughter, F for father, M for mother, and so on. The only reason for adding the legend is to make things simple for illustration. After learning eligible sharers, and we will now link the actual shares to sharers. The most common share includes 0, 1, 1/2, 1/6, 1/3, 2/3, 1/4, 1/8, joint residuary, and independent residuary. These are the common shares inheritors initially used for inheritance calculation. Then, later on, it changes based on the value of the total share. You will learn more about calculation in the third video of the series. You can see all sharers and the shares together in the simplest form with two major groups, fixed or prescribed sharers and residuary sharers. Observe the different groups of inheritors such as 0 share, 1 inheritor, spouse, children and grandchildren, parents and grandparents, consanguine male relatives, and distant kindred. Pause and take some time to digest this illustration. Residuary order is also called a tasib order. Residue must be distributed in the order from 1 to 8 as per Sunni Islamic inheritance law. To learn more details about residuary order, go to the first video of the series. Just look at the inheritors group shown in another simple way. After learning about sharers and shares, we are ready to apply conditions. See the illustrations with legend and conditions in the simplest form. Let us learn about conditions one by one. Condition number 0, inheritors receive no share. It means 0 shares until death is not ascertained, or inheritance is not left to distribute. Also, non-Muslim relatives, legally married but not Islamically, illegitimate children, adopted children, apostate, homicide or killer, unborn and stillborn cannot inherit. Condition number 1, only one inheritor is alive. If only one fixed sharer or residuary is alive, the surviving inheritor receives the entire share. It means 1. This is a unique situation that may not exist most often in the real world. There may be other situations where 2 or more inheritors survive, but only one can inherit. For example, if son, son of son, full brother, and full sister are alive. In this case, only son will inherit, and other inheritors will be blocked from taking inheritance by son. Condition number 2, the husband, wife and mother's share decreases by half in the presence of other inheritors such as husband's share reduces from 1/2 share to 1/4 share in the presence of children, grandchildren how low soever. Wife's share reduces from 1/4 share to 1/8 share in the presence of children, grandchildren how low soever. Mother's share reduces from 1/3 share to 1/6 share in the presence of children, grandchildren how low soever, or in the presence of either full, paternal or maternal multiple siblings. Mother of mother's share reduces from 1/6 share to 1/12 share in the presence of mother of father, and vice versa. Please note that children and grandchildren how low soever referred here may belong to the surviving spouse or from another marriage of the deceased spouse. Condition number 3, inheritor receives 1/2 or 1/6 share if single. Such as daughter receives 1/2 share if single with no sons is alive. Daughter of son receives 1/2 share if single with no daughters, no sons of sons are alive. Daughter of son receives 1/6 share if single with single daughter, but no sons of sons are alive. Full sister receives 1/2 share if single with no full brothers are alive. Paternal sister receives 1/2 share if single with no full sisters, no full brothers, and no paternal brothers are alive. Paternal sister receives 1/6 share if single with single full sister, but no full and paternal brothers are alive. Maternal sibling receives 1/6 share if single. Full, paternal and maternal sibling share are subject to certain blocking rules that we will learn shortly. Condition number 4, inheritor receives 2/3 or 1/3 share if multiple. Such as daughters receive 2/3 share if multiple with no sons is alive. Daughters of sons receive 2/3 share if multiple with no daughters, no sons, and no sons of sons are alive. Full sisters receive 2/3 share if multiple with no full brothers is alive. Paternal sisters receive 2/3 share if multiple with no full sisters, no full brothers, and no paternal brothers are alive. Maternal siblings receive 1/3 if multiple. Full, paternal and maternal sibling share are subject to certain blocking rules that we will learn shortly. Condition number 5, inheritor receives joint residuary share in the specific order. The joint residuary can be possible with only the pairs of males and females. In the joint residuary, males get double the share of females. There are 6 possible combinations of joint residuary are. First, sons and daughters. Second, sons of sons and daughters of sons. Third, father of father and siblings as per Shafi, Maliki or Hanbali. Fourth, full brothers and full sisters. Fifth, paternal brothers and paternal sisters. The last one is the pair of father and mother, which is possible in the particular case when both survive with spouse only. It seems that father and mother receive joint residuary, but in reality not. However, we will consider it as a joint residuary for illustration only. All these pairs cannot inherit joint residuary simultaneously, and are subject to certain conditions and blocking rules. Condition number 6, inheritor receives independent residuary share such as residuary number 1, sons receive residue if no daughters are alive. Residuary number 2, sons of sons receive residue if no daughters of sons howsoever and no sons are alive. Residuary number 3, father receives residue if no sons of sons howsoever and no sons are alive. Residuary number 4, father of father would inherit as an independent residuary if deceased were Hanafi. If the deceased were Shafi'i, Maliki or Hanbali, the father of father and siblings would inherit as a joint residuary with full and paternal siblings, or as independent residuary if siblings are not alive. Residuary number 5, full brothers receive residue if no full sisters are alive. Also, full sisters receive residue if no full brothers are alive. Residuary number 6, paternal brothers receive residue if no paternal sisters and no full brothers are alive. Also, paternal sisters receive residue if no paternal brothers, no full brothers, and no full sisters are alive. Please make a note of two things. First, the father or father of father receives a minimum of 1/6 share. Father or the father of father receives residue in addition to the 1/6 share if no sons of sons howsoever are alive. Second, full and paternal siblings, consanguine male relatives, or distant kindred receives share are subject to specific blocking rules that we will learn shortly. Condition number 7, relatives receiving shares such as residuary number 7, consanguine male relatives receive residue as an independent if no sons and no sons of sons howsoever, no father and no father of father howsoever and no siblings are alive. Residuary number 8, distant kindred relatives receive residue as an independent if no fixed sharers and no residuary sharers are alive, with the exception that distant kindred inherit with husband or wife in certain conditions. Now, see all conditions together. Please take some time to review before proceeding to the next. We have summarized for you to give you an overview of representation that shows shares, sharers, and conditions in the different groups. We suggest pausing this video and taking some time to digest this overview, which is an essential part of the foundation of Islamic inheritance law calculations. Another logical way to remember the shares and conditions such as 1/6 share, 1/2 share, 1 inheritor condition, 0 share condition, greater than 1 inheritors condition, joint residuary sharers and independent residuary sharers. Pause and take some time to learn this illustration. We recognize that it is too much to digest about shares and conditions, but you can always go back and consolidate your learning before proceeding to the next part. After learning about shares and conditions, the final important part of this video is the blocking or exclusion rules. There are two types of blocking or exclusion rules. First, the partial exclusion rules, which we already covered under conditions of Islamic inheritance law. Please look at the below for a summary. In partial exclusion, the share of inheritors reduces in the presence of other inheritors. Second, full exclusion rules. There are 16 major full blocking or exclusion rules of Sunni Islamic inheritance law. Let us review 16 full exclusion rules. We suggest take some time to review this block diagram to get more understanding. However, you should not worry about learning all these blocking rules in one shot, and we will go one by one shortly. The simplified version is shown with legend only. Please note that we will use plural forms for each group for illustration, but it will be applicable for singular too. For example, sons block sons of sons howsoever, but it is also true that single son blocks single son of son or multiple sons of sons howsoever. We will use specific word multiple if necessary. For example, multiple daughters block single or multiple daughters of sons howsoever. If you are clear, let us start learning blocking rules one by one. Blocking rule number 0. Husband or wife do not block any inheritors or residuary and cannot be blocked by any inheritors or residuary. Any inheritors cannot block spouse, parents, sons, and daughters. Blocking rule number 1. Sons block sons of sons howsoever. Sons block daughters of sons howsoever. Analogically, sons of sons block sons of sons of sons howsoever. Sons and sons of sons howsoever also block full, paternal, maternal siblings, consanguine male relatives, and distant kindred relatives of deceased. Blocking rule number 2. Multiple daughters block single or multiple daughters of sons if no sons of sons howsoever are alive. Blocking rule number 3. Father blocks mother of father as per Hanafi, Shafi, and Maliki, but does not block as per Hanbali. Please remember this blocking rule has the Sunni Islamic schools of jurisprudence differences of opinions. Sunni Islamic schools of jurisprudence are called madhab in Arabic. Blocking rule number 4. Mother blocks mother of father and mother of mother howsoever. Sunni Islamic schools of jurisprudence have differences of opinions about grandmother's share. First, Hanafi and Hanbali treat all grandmothers as a single group and apply rules of degree regardless of sides. A nearer paternal or maternal grandmother excludes more remote grandmothers on both paternal and maternal sides. On the other hand, Maliki and Shafi consider two distinct groups as maternal and paternal. For example, if the surviving inheritors include a mother of mother of mother and a mother of father, Maliki and Shafi distribute shares to both, while Hanafi and Hanbali distribute a share to the mother of the father only. Second, Maliki admits to succession only the single line of the mother or mother of mother howsoever of the deceased father. Hanbali admits the two lines of mothers howsoever of the father and father of deceased. Hanafi and Shafi admit all the lines of mothers howsoever of deceased father and father of father. Overall, it seems major differences of opinions for grandmother's share. However, in the real world, the possibility of surviving grandmothers at higher generations is very slim, which may negate such scenarios. Blocking rule number 5. Father blocks father of father howsoever. Analogically, father of father blocks father of father howsoever. Blocking rule number 6. Father blocks full and paternal siblings and their descendants until generations end. Blocking rule number 7. Father of father blocks full and paternal siblings and their descendants until generations end, as per Hanafi, but not as per Shafi, Maliki, and Hanbali. Please remember that this blocking rule has the Sunni Islamic schools of jurisprudence differences of opinions. Blocking rule number 8. Full brothers block paternal brothers and or paternal sisters. However, full sisters do not block paternal brothers and or sisters except in a special case. Full sisters block paternal sisters in the presence of daughters and or the daughters of sons. Blocking rule number 9. Consanguine male relatives are blocked by the sons or sons of sons howsoever, as well as the father or father of father howsoever. The consanguine male relatives includes full brothers' sons, paternal brothers' sons, full brothers' sons, paternal brothers' sons, and so on until generations end. Then the father's full brothers, father's paternal brothers, father's full brothers' sons, father's paternal brothers' sons, father's full brothers' sons, father's paternal brothers' sons, and so on until generations end. Blocking rule number 10. Consanguine male relatives are blocked by the full or paternal brothers, but not by the full or paternal sisters. Blocking rule number 11. Father of father blocks consanguine male relatives of deceased. Analogically, consanguine male relatives are blocked by the father of father or father of father of father howsoever. However, consanguine male relatives of deceased are not blocked by husband or wife, mother, daughter or daughter of son howsoever. Blocking rule number 12. Consanguine male relatives block distant kindred relatives of the deceased. Distant kindred relatives of deceased are eligible only if neither fixed sharer nor residuary sharer is alive, except distant kindred do inherit in the presence of husband or wife in certain conditions. Blocking rule number 13. Sons of sons, daughters of sons howsoever, and father block maternal siblings. In general, children, grandchildren howsoever block maternal siblings. Blocking rule number 14. Maternal siblings are blocked by the father of father or the father of father howsoever. Maternal siblings are the maternal brothers and maternal sisters. Blocking rule number 15. The distant kindred is blocked by father of father howsoever. Please make a note of two things. Distant kindred relatives of deceased are eligible only if neither fixed sharer nor residuary sharer is alive, except distant kindred do inherit in the presence of husband or wife in certain conditions. Distant kindred receives an inheritance as per Hanafi, Shafi, and Hanbali, but does not receive an inheritance as per Maliki. So, there is a difference of opinions among Sunni Islamic schools of jurisprudence. There are four major differences of opinions among Sunni Islamic schools of jurisprudence in regards to blocking rules. First, father blocks mother of father howsoever as per Hanafi, Shafi, and Maliki, but does not block as per Hanbali. Second, father of father blocks full and paternal siblings as per Hanafi, but not as per Shafi, Maliki, and Hanbali. Third, distant kindred receives an inheritance as per Hanafi, Shafi, and Hanbali, but does not receive an inheritance as per Maliki. Fourth, differences of opinions among selecting the grandmother's share based on generation levels and maternal or paternal class. You can see the summary of all fixed and residuary sharers, conditions, and blocking rules in a table. Please go through this table to refresh your memory, as it gives an overview of what you have learned in this video. You have successfully finished learning Sunni Islamic inheritance law, conditions, and blocking rules. Hopefully, you will be able to teach your family, relatives, friends, and community. You can learn more about Islamic inheritance law and Islamic estate planning by visiting the links below. We will leave you with the book if you enjoyed our video series and are interested in learning more. You can find the link below under the video description. We love to hear feedback about this video. Thanks for watching this video, and please get ready for the next video in the series.